So hi, Romain Ferrari from Thales. I'm working on Auth4ce. So it's a next-gen access control framework based on attribute-based access control. So I work also with Cyril Dangerville, which is in the room, on this asset. Okay. So the basic outline of this presentation is to give an overview of Auth4ce and to focus on one special use case that we address currently in Thales. So based on FIDO, OpenID Connect, and ZACML. So Auth4ce. Why did we build Auth4ce in Thales? So as I said, I work in Thales, but in innovation laboratory where we do application security. In application security, it's authentication and access control. I'm specialized in access control, so I decided with Cyril to start to build under the umbrella of W2 this asset. And we were backed by the senior management of Thales because of this sentence for Gartner that said that attribute-based access control will be the dominant mechanism by 2020. So we'll see next year. Attribute-based access control is kind of like role-based access control, except that you can use all kind of attribute. You can use the role to do the access control. You can also use the GPS location of the subject, so the person who try to access something. You can use the IP address, you can use the level authentication, you can use a lot of things. So it's more fine-grained than only the role. So this is for the tech guys. It's a typical architecture of what is an attribute-based access control architecture based on ZACML. So ZACML is the standard for attribute-based access control. So you have the PEP, so policy enforcement point, who do the real enforcement of the policy. So it can be a reverse proxy in front of your web application. It can be a Python library within your application. It can be a lot of things. You have the PAP, who manage the policy, so policy administration point, when you can edit your policy, you can update your policy, you can do everything with your policies. You have the PIP, policy information point. So this is the part when we gather attributes to render the decision. And you have the PDP. So this is the core of this architecture. This is the engine that process all the attributes, process the policies, respond to a query from the PEP, and give back a decision. So what is Auth4ce? So this is this whole architecture. It's an attribute-based access control framework, as I previously said. It's 100% ZACML v3 compliant. It was built with W2 during last few years in several European projects. And it's now in the GitLab. It was in the Forge of W2. It's now in the GitLab. It was awarded in 2016. So thank you again. Some latest news about Auth4ce. It's now Thales contribute to the standard, so the ZACML standard that implement attribute-based access control. We provided a CLI tool for quick and easy testing of your policy. So now you don't have to upload the policy to the PDP to test it. You have a CLI tool. You provide a request, you provide the policy, and you can check if the request that you provided matched the decision that you want. We improved our ZACML JSON profile. So the PDP is addressed through REST API, so we improved that. We improved the packaging. We improved the Docker and the Debian packaging. And thanks to the STEM project, we also improved the quality check and the testing of Auth4ce. We integrated Auth4ce, we implemented it in many use cases, in many domains. So cloud domains, big data domains, IoT, etc. Implemented in different collaborative projects. So EasyCloud, OpenCloudware, U2U, etc. Some of them with W2. But we also integrated OAuth in Thales products. Some of the products actually use OAuth in the time being. So now I will focus more in the use case with the FIDO, OpenID Connect, and Matrix Riot framework. So what is Matrix, Synapse, and Riot? So Matrix is an ecosystem for VoIP and instant messaging. Synapse is the reference implementation of the server side. Riot is the reference implementation of the client side. So Riot is available for example, for Android device, for browsers, for iOS device, I think. So this is the ecosystem that we choose. Why did we choose this ecosystem? Simply because Thales developed an application that's supposed to be the more secure WhatsApp. It's available on the Play Store and the App Store, I think. I'm not sure about the App Store. And it's based on the Matrix, Synapse, and Riot stack. So we wanted to increase the security of this stack by introducing some attribute-based access control and some SSO in the mix, SSO single sign-on. Because the Matrix ecosystem, so Synapse doesn't have a strong authentication, doesn't have a single sign-on or identity federation out of the box. So the main goal was to introduce these things into the use case to maybe implement it in Thales Citadel afterwards. Also, in the authorization part, Synapse is mostly designed for discretionary access control only, so we wanted to introduce HABAC into it. Discretionary access control is that you give all the control to the administrator and he decides the policy for the room. The latest good news, so this is some good news from the Matrix framework, the new development. The one that I really enjoy is that we can now tags rooms, so we can add security labels to the room. Security labels equal one more attribute, so a policy that can be enriched. So this is the architecture of the use case. So for authentication, we were backed by Lemon LDAP because we needed strong authentication. We needed single sign-on, and as I said, OAuth is mainly authorization framework. So we needed something to do the authentication, and we used Lemon LDAP to do this authentication, to do this FIDO authentication, and to provide attributes to the PDP. We put an API gateway in front of the Synapse server. So this is the PEP that I explained on the previous slide. So each time you try to log into the Synapse server, you go through this gateway that do the authentication part with Lemon LDAP. And each time you try to read a message, list a chat room, list the user in the chat room, everything you can do in Matrix, the PDP render a decision and the API gateway enforce it. So some example of the rules that we can enforce is we can give access to a user when his role is X and Y, and this level authentication is superior to N. Sometimes we only want user to access the room only with a secure laptop, so an authentication with a smart card, for example. So this is the kind of rule. We only so the second example is only user with clearance level superior of the room security can read the messages in the room, but other user can send messages in the room. So this is the kind of rule that we can enforce with attribute-based access control. So this is a Fido slide. You can ask some question afterwards if you're not aware about Fido. But the main thing about Fido is it enforces strong authentication with cheap products, and it's widely adopted. So this is the thing to remember. We chose also OpenID Connect because we wanted to do single sign-on for all applications that were behind OAuth4, and also because it was provided by Lemon LDAP. The interest in OpenID Connect is also that it provides standardized identity attribute. So this is easy to build policies and to extract attributes from one point. And it's adopted also by major vendors such as Google, AWS, and so on and so forth. So the roadmap of OAuth4, we want to implement the same kind of use case in Rocket Chat, which is now an OW2 project. We want to improve our industrializing, so improve the pair testing, improve the functional testing. We are back with the STAMP project on that. And we also take interest into a lightweight ABAC, so apply attribute-based access control to IoTs. It can be complicated because IoTs doesn't have also always connection to the PDP, so we have to find some workaround for that. And we want to implement also GeoZACML. So GeoZACML is a way of enforcing rules, enforcing geographic rules. So you can say, okay, I give access to a single users only if he's 10 miles radius from the Orange Garden facility. So thank you. You have the link to the OAuth4 website. It's available on the GitLab.